Welcome into the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. Murphy, week 2 in the books. We thought the DeKalb County game, and Macon County game would be a great one, and it was.
Yeah, it lived up to all the billing it had, and you can't help but wonder if those teams maybe have a chance to playing each other a second time this year in the playoff.
Maybe in the third round, in the quarterfinals. We had as our game of the week the Cheatham County at Cannon County, another big win. Murphy, they seem to have things rolling under this first-year head coach. Eli Garrett, 12 for 18, 164 yards passing. Touchdown. Braden Smithson, 15 carries, 100 yards. Couple of scores. Jackson Miles, 5 receptions, 55 yards and a score. Zay Odom, couple of receptions for 28 yards, 6.5 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. And then when you look for Cheatham County, the Cubs led by Luke Austin with 12 rushes for 59 yards, a touchdown. He also had was 2 of 5 passing for 56 yards and a touchdown interception. But defensively, it looks like that Cannon played pretty well.
They did. Cheatham County was a very physical football team, but by the middle part of the second quarter, they just kind of folded up their tent and were ready to go home. I think Cannon County played really, really well. Very good fundamental football, I think, and Coach Barch has really got those kids believing in themselves. I know the Sellers kid, for example, he had a couple of really long runs in that ball game as well, one that set up a touchdown. And the freshman class is making a lot of contributions to this football team. They really are.
We want to thank Sonic of Carthage for sponsoring the Stats of the Week for our DTC Huff and Buff Trucking Game of the Week. Let's go ahead and look at the DeKalb County and Livingston. We'll have Coach Steve Trapp on just a little bit later. Jordan Parker, another solid night on both sides, both throwing and running football. He had 12 rushes, 114 yards, a couple of scores, and then 9 for 15 in the air, 157 yards and 2 scores. Cecil Ketchum, another big night, 17 rushes, 168 yards, 2 scores. And then Lyons, that sophomore wide receiver, Ryan's been doing a good job for them. 5 catches, 123 yards, 2 scores. I know he had 2 scores in the game against Smith County when they won that one. I think it was 35-6. For Livingston, Jackson Bowles got a rushing touchdown. It's DeKalb's first win in Livingston since 1994, but a big region win for the DeKalb Tigers.
A lot of rivalry between these two schools in any sport. I mean, it could be tiddlywinks and there'd still be a large crowd to show up. But I think this is 5 straight DeKalb County wins over Livingston. And I know a lot of people think this may be one of the better DeKalb County teams in quite some time.
When you look at Trousdale County going to Gordonsville, of course, Trousdale's been struggling big time, got behind in Bryson Grissom. I think a lot of this was in the first half. 12 carries for 126 yards, 4 touchdowns. Also returned the opening kickoff. I think it was the opening kickoff, 82 yards for a touchdown. Dalton Hancock, 5 receptions for 65 yards. And Camry Stout, a backup, 1 rush for 45 yards and a touchdown. And then Trousdale County, Nehemiah Likens, 21 carries for 66 yards. Of course, the Link kid who was at Red Boiling, his older brother was their quarterback. Now the younger Link, whose dad is now the softball coach, is Trousdale County's quarterback. Murphy, I know Smith and Trousdale coming up in a big game here a week after next, which no doubt might decide a playoff spot.
Could very well do that. And I know Kyle Gregory, the new Trousdale County coach, one of the better players they've had in quite some time. When he wore the Trousdale County uniform, he knows he's got a battle on his hands, but nonetheless, the numbers are starting to get up. Every school, I don't care how good you are, how big you are, you're gonna have a drought as far as athletes are concerned, and that's kind of what's bothering Trousdale County right now. They'll be okay. It's just going to take a little while.
Of course, their junior high team, Murphy, doing a great job. They're undefeated. They beat Gordonsville the other night 52-8.
Oh my!
And Gordonsville was undefeated going into that game, and they're really pinning some high hopes on those 7th and 8th graders once they get to the high school level.
It's kind of what's happening in Cannon County with that freshman class this year.
Let's look at Sequatchie County at Watertown, another close loss, the third in a row for Watertown. They lost it 33-28. They actually led at halftime 14-12. For Sequatchie County, Kason Hicks, 12 rushes for 82 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then a 70-yard kickoff return for a score. And Austin Griffith, 16 rushes for 89 yards. Then for Watertown, Blake Waldorf, a huge night, 38 for 52, 356 yards, 4 touchdowns, interception. I've never seen that many completions or attempts in a high school football game, unless I went back to the Charlie High days at CAK, Murph.
Especially at Watertown.
Right. That just doesn't happen. They're normally more running. They did struggle running it, so what they do, they went to the air. Marcus Reynolds, 11 catches for 83 yards, a couple of scores. Jesse Bratcher, 11 catches for 114 yards and a score as well. The Purple Tigers, Murphy, they're close. They got a lot of youngsters. They're just looking for a dose of confidence, as we'll have Gavin Webster on a little bit later in the show.
They've lost 3 games by an average of 6 points a game. That's a 1 touchdown ball game, and all it takes is 1 or 2 plays that goes the way it's supposed to in the textbook, right, and you're right in all 3 of those games.
Smith County at Liberty Creek, that game was 0-0. Still this year, Smith County has not given up a point in the first quarter. The unfortunate thing, they have not scored a point in the first quarter. Liberty Creek breaks out for 17. The Owls get behind 3-0. They kick a field goal. They drive it the length of the field. Smith County scores and goes up 6-3. Then they drive it back down, make it 10-6. Thought that was going to be you score at halftime. But of course, they didn't drive it back down, did Liberty Creek. They got a huge kickoff return, 73 yards, and which really kind of broke the Owls back. And then they got a kind of a cheap score there at the end of the first half. The only 3 passes that Liberty Creek did the entire game, we let people get behind us. They were out of timeouts, or maybe 1 timeout, with the clock running out in the second quarter, and they took a 17-6 lead. Owls came back, got a stop, start the third quarter, and actually drove and scored to make it 17-12. Then Liberty Creek makes its only mistake of the night. They fumble it with Mac Tuggle, and Cole Hackett falls on it. So the Owls have got it at their own 43. First play, 17-yard gain. The Owls were misaligned.
Oh, no.
And lost, of course, the 17 yards, which would have been to the 40 of the Liberty Creek Wolves. And the Owls never overcame that, as after they had a 3-and-out punt, then they go Tuggle bust it 67 yards straight up the middle for a touchdown to give them that 23-12 advantage. Riley Martin, 16 for 22. 198 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Jermaine Kason, 6 receptions for 73 yards and a touchdown. And Cole Hackett had a catch for 50 yards and a score. But Coach Matt Dyer still plugging in players, trying to get the best 11 on both sides of the ball, Murphy.
Sometimes that's hard to do, especially when you lose as many seniors as they did last year. It sounds like the game, or the score, is not really indicative of the game. Just a lot of big plays on both sides of the field.
It was a great setting for high school football at Liberty Creek, an immaculate stadium that looks like a college campus. We'll have an interview with DeKalb County Tigers head coach Steve Trapp when we return the box score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Neighbors help each other. It's how community works. And it's how we do business at DTC. You can count on us for internet, TV, and phone, backed by local support.
For a limited time, earn a $25 bill credit for your favorite local school and $25 for you when you add or upgrade internet service with DTC.
DTC. We're working hard to be a good neighbor.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old borrowed trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines is a proud supporter of athletic programs throughout the area, including high school football and high school basketball. To learn more about us, please visit us at our website, www.nearstar.com. Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines.
Here with Steve Trapp of the DeKalb County Tigers football team. Coach, your team off to a 3-0 start, a very impressive victory on the road. You get behind 8-0, but you storm back with 42 straight points to get the win. And when we mentioned the Smithville-Livingston rivalry, it goes way back to the old 8AA days, and I know you were tickled to get the W.
Definitely, it goes. I know when I was in high school, Livingston was finally the team. They were really good at everything. We were pretty decent at everything, probably except for football. But the last time that a DeKalb County football team has won at Livingston was 1994, and that was my junior year, and I remember that game. So it's been a while since we've been victorious at their place. A couple years ago we played them away, but it was at Tennessee Tech because their deal was getting redone. So. It's good. I'm just proud of our guys, how we went down there, took a road trip, business trip, and not real glad of how we started there on defense, but we got that taken care of real quick.
Coach, it looks like your quarterback, Jordan Parker, is becoming more of a run-pass threat with each passing game. He's surpassed the 100-yard mark in both categories, and I know that's got to pose an awful lot of problems for the opposition.
Well, they've got to account for him in a lot of different ways, and Jordan does a great job for us. Just the way he prepares, he understands wholeheartedly, when I call a play, while we're calling it, we talk about it all week long. I've got him as a teacher's aide, so just that extra time to get to spend together is huge. He's taken care of me as the offensive coordinator multiple times this year as far as that play don't look good versus what the defense is in, so he has the liberty to get us in what he thinks is going to be a successful play, and he's done a good job with that. But I also believe somewhat of an emergence of our sophomore running back, Cecil Ketchum, has, I think it's just kind of solidified that we've got playmakers at a lot of different areas on the offensive side of the ball, along with Ryan Lyons and John Hendricks as well.
Yeah, Cecil and Jordan both scored 2 touchdowns apiece in that game, and it's kind of nice when you can spread that out among multiple players.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of coaches and teams or onlookers or outside eyeballs might look at the DeKalb and just think we like to spread it out and sling it all over the yard, which I like doing that. I'm not going to lie, but I'm also very proud of the fact that we rushed for 294 yards. 2 different guys were over 100 yards rushing. 2 different guys had 2 touchdowns, and then Ryan Lyons had 2 touchdowns receiving. So. Some of it was just run the ball, some of it was passing, some of it was RPO where it was actually a run, but the pass opened up. So just really proud of how all of our skill positions executed. But really that's probably the best game our offensive line has played also, and that's really what makes everything work.
Coach, I know those offensive linemen don't get a lot of credit, and probably not enough on this show, to be honest with you. Let's mention those guys up front, Coach, that have been instrumental in this 3-0 start.
Well, our most experienced guy up front is Chris Pulley. He plays right tackle for us. He's a 3-year starter. He started as a sophomore. He's played a little guard, little tackle, so he's got a lot of experience. Him and Ty Webb's probably got the most on-field experience of everybody on our team. But he's been holding down that side right there for quite a while. And then our left tackle is Bryson Arnold. He's a junior. He started last year as a sophomore at right guard, bumped him out to left tackle. He's been doing a good job. And then our returning center is Aiden Turner. He's a junior. Those three guys are returners for us. And then our two new guys are both seniors. Toby Roller, he's just one of those guys that we're really proud of, because this is his first chance and opportunity to get on the field. And a lot of times these days, if you've got, juniors especially, if they get to that point and they're not on the field, a lot of them quit. But he has hung with us. He has stuck with us. He has worked extremely hard. And now I think he's graded out like our number 2 offensive lineman so far. So he's doing a really good job. And then a guy that played with us as a freshman and sophomore but didn't play with us last year, and that's Cole McMillan. He's starting at right guard for us, and he's getting better each and every week and each and every game. So just glad of what those guys are doing. We've got a couple of quality guys just waiting in the wings back there behind them. So feel really good about our offensive line group. And, Coach Luke Green and Eli Cross, both guys who have played for us, those are the guys that are coaching them. And so just super proud of the work that all that group is doing.
Coach, you can't ever have too many linemen, can you?
Oh, you definitely can. I mean, I know there's been some years where somebody goes down. We've had to take an extra running back and take extra jerseys just to make sure we got it covered. So, but no, we feel good about the group we've got.
You were 5-6 last year, gained the playoffs, but you played an awful lot of young kids last year, and those kids have matured a lot more in the off season, and that's a whole lot of DeKalb's success thus far in the early part of the season, don't you think?
It is. We've been there a few times, here where, we're going to play the guys that show up and do what we ask and take care of business, and it don't matter to us if it's freshmen, sophomores, or whatever. So, we had a lot of younger guys on the field. Ryan Lyons is just a sophomore. He started for us last year as a freshman. But, so a lot of those guys definitely are a year more physically mature, and that helps a bunch. Last year we were really small up front. We're a little bigger this year, so that kind of helps, but also that experience, just getting out there each and every Friday helps as well. So, and the other thing is we only have 6 seniors, so we're going to have a lot of those guys coming back next year.
Coach, one of the things I noticed in the Smith County game and your win in Carthage was the fact that your specialty people blocked well. And if you're going to have a good running game, that is an integral part that's a lot of times overlooked.
It is. Our skill position guys out there, we tell them all the time, if you want the rock, you've got to block. So we want to get the ball in our skill positions' hands. We want to spread the love like we've been doing, just because we've got quality guys out there. But there's a job to do on each and every play. So the majority of the time, even if it's a run, we've got a chance to throw it. But there's a quick recognition, okay, is the ball coming or is it not? And if it's not, you need to get your tail around and start blocking. So, and we also tell them all, hey, those 8 to 12-yard runs turns into 20 and home runs. For blocking downfield. So I'm proud of the job that they're doing. Coach Wheeler, he coaches our wide receivers, and, every Monday, we call it Fundy Monday, for fundamentals. So we always do wide receiver blocking drills on Monday just to make sure that, hey, you got to block.
That's absolutely true. And you can have the best running back in the state, but if he's not running behind good linemen that are opening holes, it doesn't really matter a whole lot, does it?
Definitely. It comes down to their execution. I mean, for the most part, football's football all the way up to NFL. A lot of us are running the same schemes, with little tweaks and stuff here and there. So it's definitely about the guys getting out there and knowing what to do and executing your jobs.
Coach, looking at your defense, I know that is where it seems like you've made some strides from last year. Is it more veterans there, or did you finally got people swapped around to the positions that you thought they could play? Because sometimes it's hard to get a cohesive unit on the defensive side of the ball, but it seems like y'all have done that.
Well, no, our defense played, in my eyes, our defense played last year, did a heck of a job. I think it was more on the offense, not helping them out. This year, I think, we explained this to the guys and other people, 2012, again, a lot of people might think, man, that offense. And we had a very potent offense, but the thing was, about 80% of the time, the defense was getting 3 and outs. So our offense had extra opportunities, and I think that's still happening this year, but our offense was taking advantage of it. But where sometimes last year, we might get a 3 and out, a defensive stop, but then we're just punting it right back, so the defense is right back out there. So Coach Shaw does an excellent job with our defense as far as scheming and moving people around and this and that. Ty Webb, I've mentioned, like I said, he's a 4-year starter. Again, he's got a ton of experience. He's kind of our hybrid guy on defense, safety, outside backer, inside backer, the quarterback of the defense. And he takes a lot of pride in, just getting everybody where they need to be. And then I think we're playing with a lot of urgency. Running through the ball is huge. We just tell them, hey, get lined up, know your assignment, see it, and go get it. And then make sure we got a game when we do that. So just really proud of how they're performing. Like I said, they just keep doing their thing, giving our offense more opportunities. And so far, we've proven that we can take advantage of that.
Coach, it's the DeKalb County Super Bowl this week, and even though Watertown has not won a ball game, they've played some really good teams, and they've played some really good teams close.
Yeah, that's something we've taken note of. But like I said, we've had that talk with our guys. A lot of people, 3-0 versus 0-3, and they go ahead and get this perception of what this game might look like. But we know how those guys are coached, and we know how those guys play, and we know we've seen the games and we've seen the tape. So our whole thing is just about taking advantage of the opportunity that we have each and every day to simply get better. And that's what we want our guys to buy into. So, we've told them, hey, 3-0 is over. That's not going to do anything for you this week. Well, where our confidence should lie is not in our record, but in the way that we prepare. That's where we should build confidence, is because we prepare well, we work hard, and we are ready to go to try to get the result that we want.
It's all about what have you done for me lately, right?
Coach Steve Trapp, appreciate you being our guest. Best of luck against Watertown on Friday night.
Guys, we appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll have a talk with Watertown head coach Gavin Webster when we return to the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Got a special outdoor project that you need to tackle? BDGR Excavating is the one to call. Custom land clearing, mulching, excavation, and more. They can help get the job done, even when others have failed. Call the problem solvers at BDGR at 615-489-1329 and let them help you get that project out of the way so you can really start enjoying your property. BDGR Excavating.
Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines is a proud supporter of athletic programs throughout the area, including high school football and high school basketball. To learn more about us, please visit us at our website, www.nearstar.com. Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Call Underwood Hometown Realty today. Our experienced team of professionals is here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to sell, we make the process smooth and stress-free. With deep roots in the community, we know the local market inside and out. Let us help you find your dream home or get the best value for your current one. Call Underwood Hometown Realty now at 615-683-3300, where hometown service meets real estate expertise.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
And welcome back to the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway. I want to thank them for sponsoring, being the title sponsor for our show. And we've been joined with Watertown head coach Gavin Webster, no stranger to the show. Coach, welcome in.
I'm here, ready to go.
Coach, I know you're not used to being 0-3. You've had two very, very competitive games that you could have won just as easily as you lost. I know with some of the youngsters you're having to play, unfortunately you have to grow up or get that experience. Some of them playing for the first time ever at the varsity level, and they're having to start because of injuries.
You are correct on that. I guess nobody would like starting 0-3, But I will say one thing about our kids. We're starting a lot of young kids, a lot of sophomores, but there's no quit in them. They keep coming back to work each week. If you watch them play on Friday night, they play hard. They play hard to the end, and there's no quit in them. And what we got to fix is, we got to fix those small things that can be fixed. And everything, we get beat by, it's little things. So it's things that can be fixed. We just got to get them fixed, And the other night, unfortunately, we had a breakdown on special teams, So we give up, we're up 14-12 at half, and give up a kickoff return their start of the third quarter, and then there in the first half we get a punt block that set up a touchdown. I think we were inside our 20, maybe inside our 15. So, we talk about winning all phases, and they had a bunch of rushing yards, but we felt like defensively we played well enough to win the ball game defensively. We played well enough to win the ball game offensively. Defense created 3 turnovers, So, we played well enough. It's got to win all phases when it comes down to it, and we didn't do it that night.
Coach, those 2 situations you mentioned are a great example of every player has got to play 110% on every snap, because all it takes is just one miscue here or one miscue there, and you only lost that game by 5 points. So either one of those plays were responsible, you might say, for the loss to Sequatchie County.
Yeah, and you hate to, you hate to pinpoint it just on special teams. We had a breakdown and like that could very, very well. We had some other things, some drop balls and some misassignments too that could have helped it also. But when that just kind of sticks out, when you got a breakdown and special teams, or whether it was defense or offense, So we just getting back to work this week and just trying to get better each day.
Coach Blake Waldorf, a big night for you, 37 of 53 for 342 yards. That's about as many completions or attempts I've seen at the high school level in quite some time, maybe back to the CAK and Mr. High. That was the norm, but have you ever had a Watertown quarterback throw it that many times and have that many completions?
No. We were talking about that the other day, and if you go back to, the teams that back in, mid, 2015, 16, 17 on up through there, most of those guys, if we threw it, a lot of times they were pulled at halftime, so, I've never had a full game. We threw for a bunch of yards, never that many, or never threw it that many times, but, I guess no is the answer to your question. Is just those other guys never played a full game like we're having to now.
Was Coach Robinson at that game? If he was, I figured he might have had a heart attack watching that many passes from a Watertown team.
No. He wasn't there. I think he decided. I think he thought about it, but I think he decided to stay home.
Okay.
Coach, 4 touchdowns from Waldorf. He spread the ball around well for you. But when you look at the offensive explosion, which, 61 points is not that many points, but it is when you look at both teams, and Sequatchie County has a lot of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the way the ball game went. We were expecting them, normally they've had a pretty good passing attack, and I think we shut that down pretty good on them. We think they had 40 yards passing total, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, we created 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions there, And then they, they come back. They had a good game plan. They come back. They switched their quarterbacks out and put their little running quarterback in, and got to doing some stuff with him that gave us problems. Which was smart on Coach McIntyre's part.
Gavin, Terry has reminded me once again, I've tried to put Watertown in DeKalb County by calling your game with DeKalb the DeKalb County Super Bowl, but it's a big rivalry game, one that's got a lot of history about it. There was a long gap in there, I understand, but nonetheless, that's one that everybody kind of gets up for because you're really not that far apart. What concerns you most about to expect from Steve Trapp's football team this year?
Well, Coach Trapp, they've got one of the better football teams I've seen in a lot of years. We've played them several years. If we haven't played them, we played them in the Jamboree, so we've seen them. They're always big and got good size and everything. But they're not only got good size this time, but they're very athletic. On both sides of the ball, secondary. They got some good football players, and they're well coached on both sides of the ball. And it's just one of the better football teams I've seen in a while.
Coach, when you look at the Ketchum kid, he's got some speed and runs the football, I think, very hard. But Mr. Parker, he engineers their offense awfully well. Jordan can beat you both with the pass and with the run, as we've seen. And it seems like Steve Trapp always has a versatile quarterback.
Yeah, he does. Ever since I've been playing knowing Steve, he's always had a versatile quarterback that can do either or, So that's always good to have. There's nothing wrong with that. Keeps the defense honest.
Yeah, he rushed for over 100 yards. He threw for over 100 yards. So your defensive guys this week are going to have to stay at home and take care of their specific responsibilities all night long.
Yeah, they will. They will, Murphy. We're going to have to play good assignment football. Coach Hackett, they do a good job getting their kids where they need to be. It just comes down to the end of the day, we got to make those plays when we get there. We got to do better tackling and getting people to the football and causing problems.
Gavin, when you look, I know that when you have a young football team, sometimes they need a dose of confidence, and a dose of confidence is not something that you can just have your trainer, use a shot and put it in them. But I think a close win sometimes does that for your team. Do you feel like that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, it is. I think it is. And our kids. Like I said, we're like I said, we've lost. We lost 3 games by I think a total of 18 points. If my math is right. 6, 7, and 5, whatever that comes up to. We've been right there in all 3 games. Anytime you get a win, it really helps that confidence. But like I said earlier, what I do like saying, and like that, I don't like being 0-3, and nobody does. But I still love the fight these guys give. They want to win, they're trying, and there's no quit in them.
Coach, you had enough injuries before the season actually got started when you lost at least 3 really good starters on both sides of the ball. How about now? That was enough to pretty much take care of the season. Have you guys stayed healthy since then?
We have, Murphy. We have, and like I said, when you lose, you lose 2 seniors. You hate to lose anybody to season-ending injuries, especially for seniors. So they won't ever get to play again. And then of course we lost a sophomore, and they were all, they were all vital part on both sides of the ball. So it was tough losing them.
Well, Coach Webster, best of luck. May be raining on Friday night when you traveled up to Smithville for homecoming, but best of luck to you and the Purple Tigers.
All right. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Mike.
We'll take a break and be back with more. You're watching The Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
What is your emergency?
I think I'm being robbed.
Sir?
These big home security guys want way too much money from me.
Let's connect you to a local company right away.
It's a crime what big national companies charge for home security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation.
Help is on the way, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Switch now and save. Call or visit DTC Security online today.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Got a special outdoor project that you need to tackle? BDGR Excavating is the one to call. Custom land clearing, mulching, excavation, and more. They can help get the job done, even when others have failed. Call the problem solvers at BDGR at 615-489-1329 and let them help you get that project out of the way so you can really start enjoying your property. BDGR Excavating.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Call Underwood Hometown Realty today. Our experienced team of professionals is here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to sell, we make the process smooth and stress-free. With deep roots in the community, we know the local market inside and out. Let us help you find your dream home or get the best value for your current one. Call Underwood Hometown Realty now at 615-683-3300, where hometown service meets real estate expertise.
And welcome back to the box score for our final segment. We want to thank our sponsors, our title sponsor being Carthage Safeway. Other sponsors are Huff and Puff Trucking, Near Star, Sonic of Carthage, Underwood Hometown Realty, and BDGR Excavating. We want to thank all those folks for sponsoring.
Terry, we're thanking them, but we need to have our listeners go thank them as well.
Our viewers.
That's right.
Instead of our listeners.
Our viewers, that's right.
Football game night is Watertown at DeKalb County. It'll be the Black and Gold Tigers playing against the Purple Tigers. And I know when you look going to Smithville as our game of the week, on paper you think maybe this is a one-sided affair. DeKalb coming in 3-0, Watertown 0-3, but Gavin Webster's not going to Smithville to get beat.
No, he's not. And those kids will give them a good effort. I'm pretty solid on that quote. But I think this is one of the better DeKalb County teams we've seen in quite some time. And as long as they can stay healthy, I think Coach Trapp's going to win a lot of ball games this year, including one this week.
All right, Murph, let's get into your picks. Give you some time to tell us about Farragut and Cleveland first.
All right, that one's being played at Cleveland under the direction of Coach Chandler Tygard. What a name. Cleveland's off to a great 3-0 start with wins over Clinton, McMinn County, and Walker Valley. Farragut's 0-3. It's kind of like the DeKalb Watertown game, but I think Cleveland wins this one, and they're going to be a team to reckon with as we get closer to the playoffs.
Maryville and Knoxville West.
Are the Rebels back? I kind of think they are. Big wins over Heritage, Knoxville Central, and Bradley Central, all shutouts. Makes me think this Maryville team might be good enough, I think, to beat Knoxville West this week as well.
Sequatchie County at South Pittsburgh. Sequatchie has struggled at times. They lost a close game to their border rival, Bledsoe County, and then kind of struggled last week at Watertown.
This one could go either way. I think the home field advantage, should help South Pittsburgh, but I don't think so. A 20-point loss to Oliver Springs in the season opener makes me question how good the Pirates are this year. I've got to go with Sequatchie in that one.
Let's go ahead and look at the Middle Tennessee picks. Germantown at Riverdale. Riverdale coming off a 7-0 loss to Beach.
Germantown has defeated South Panola, Mississippi, a team that is always good, regardless, on the gridiron. And I think this, if you don't have a dog in the hunt with a game here in the Mid-State, I'd be going to Riverdale if I were you. Riverdale's first loss of the season, a 7-0 setback at the hands of Beach last week, makes me think Coach Will Kreisky will have his team a little more ready this week to face Germantown, and I'm picking Riverdale in a mild upset.
Columbia at Shelbyville.
Shelbyville won a 2-point thriller last year when they played Columbia. Both teams have a loss this year to the same squad, Marshall County. The Golden Eagles by 12 and the Lions by 3. With those numbers, I think I'm going to go with Shelbyville on that one.
Marion County at Fayetteville.
All roads lead to Marion County at the 2A level, but there's something I just can't put my hands on to tell me pick Marion County, so that's what I'm going to do.
When you look, of course, Marion County is in Jasper and Fayetteville in Lincoln County. Really two football towns.
They really
Lincoln
are.
County for years and years was a staple at the Class 3A level when we only had 3 classifications. Let's go ahead and look at our West Tennessee picks, and Murphy, your grandson, in Adamsville at Peabody. Always a tough place to play.
It is, and this is another one of those games that you can't go by the records. Peabody is 0-3, but the Golden Tide have lost to USJ, Jackson Christian, and Riverside. I think all 3 of those teams are going to go deep in the playoffs. My heart wants me to pick Adamsville because that's where my grandson plays. Sorry, Peabody fans, I'm going with the Cardinals.
ECS at Lausanne.
I think one of the private schools in Jackson is capable of beating Lausanne this year, but the two are playing each other this week, not Lausanne. I'm going with the Lynx in Memphis.
Jackson Christian at University School of Jackson.
Both of these Jackson schools are undefeated. Peabody is the lone common opponent to both of those teams. The Golden Tide lost by 29. Jackson Christian beat them by 14. Do the math, Terry. I'm going with USJ in that one.
Let's go ahead and look at our local picks. You got Forest at Cannon County, a big early region game.
I think Forest is probably the favorite in that one. I'd like to say Cannon County goes to 4-1 or 3-1, but I think Forest maybe just has too many weapons, and I'm picking the Rockets in that one.
Joe Burns at Gordonsville for homecoming.
Joe Burns has a new head coach, and I think Gordonsville is, I think the chemistry is really strong there this year, and I've got to go with the Tigers in that one.
A big rivalry, a great game a year ago that went to overtime when Smith County lost 6-3. Questionable call on Coach Matt Dyer there for unsportsmanlike conduct when he was trying to call a timeout. Wound up probably being the decider in that ball game. But Macon County coming off a tough loss at Upperman, in which they had led for a lot of the way and then scored late, decided to try to tie it, but missed the extra point, then got the onside kick, and Hail Mary comes up short in a 1-point loss, Macon and Smith.
That should be a good game, but I think it'll be a little one-sided. All of the weapons, for the most part, that Macon County had last year are back again this year, and they're healthy. So I'm going to go with Kyle Shoulder's team in that one.
Watertown at DeKalb.
And we've talked about that one back and forth quite a bit, but I think DeKalb may have its best team in quite some time, and I'm going with that group of Tigers, the Black and Gold.
Thanks again to all our fine sponsors, BDGR Excavating, Underwood Hometown Realty, Sonic of Carthage, Nearstar, Huff and Puff Trucking, and our title sponsor, Carthage Safeway. For Justin Malden and Murphy Fair, I'm Terry Collins. Good night on The Box Score.